obviously on the MVP. I think everyone's waiting for Ben Johnson and then Aaron Glenn to sign, and then hopefully more pieces will, fall into place for teams. But
Yeah. In a turn of events, kind of, Ben Johnson was looking like he was probably gonna go to a Bears, or he was the favorite for the Bears. But Tom Brady got in his ear. Now he's looking like he's a favorite for the Raiders.
what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the MPP, the Noah and Patrick podcast, and this is episode number 19.
19. That's
19.
what it says there, right? Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm not looking at it. Hopefully everyone's having a great week. A lot to get to for it not kind of being a busy week. We did have the college football playoff championship on Monday. We also have who is playing on the AFC and the NFC conference championship games this weekend. And we got some news in the NFL today. And yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about in this episode. Noah, what do we have?
Yeah. So starting off, NFL, Chicago Bears sign arguably the prized possession of the head coaching pool.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
Ben Johnson signed with the Bears as to be their head coach. Um, Big signing. The next probably best option would have been Vrabel, who has led the Titans to a couple of big seasons, winning seasons. Even though the last few before he got fired were pretty bad, but he has some success in the NFL. And then who else was there? I guess Mike McCarthy would probably be the next best option for the Bears, at least. But yeah, looking good for the future. Another Bears off season that looks promising, just to be let down again. So we'll see if we do, as we Bears fans get let down, or we actually start to see some results for the team.
That's that's funny
Another
too because I just heard on another podcast that the Bears always win the best off-season award, and then it always goes to nothing. So
yeah,
last
well,
year they won the
normally
off-season. They got Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze in the draft, and then it all went downhill. So
yeah, I think normally the Bears win like player off season type stuff, draft like the draft the trade they made with the Panthers. People that was a huge win for the Bears. DJ Moore, signing these guys. And now it's a head coach, which hopefully is the piece that
yeah.
has been missing because they really needed uh to make a change there, and hopefully it works this time. So I'm going to be optimistic and say they're going to go undefeated next year. Next,
Let's just make the
another head
playoffs.
coach. Yeah, no, go big or go home, as you
Yeah.
like to say. Um, there have been a couple of other hires. The Jets hired Aaron Glenn, the other coordinator from the Lions, the defensive coordinator for the Lions. So the Lions lost both Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, uh, basically back-to-back days within the same week for sure.
Yeah.
And now Dan Campbell's gonna have to go on a search for the next big thing. He found a couple of good ones this time, and I'm sure he'll find a couple other coordinators um, who will fit right in.
Yep.
But yeah, Jets hire another defensive head coach. That's three in a row, I think. If you count their interim, who they had step up after they fired Robert Saleh. And I think he became the defensive coordinator for the Falcons, that interim head
Yeah.
coach. So Aaron Glenn has a lot of work to do. I think that's probably one of the hardest head coaching jobs to go into. You don't have a QB. You do have a high pick, but it's a weak QB class.
Hmm.
You're probably not gonna get a QB. The top two QBs fall to you there, and I don't know. It's just not looking good for the Jets right now. So
Yeah, a lot of people saying it's a good hire, but I don't know. People aren't really saying why it was a good hire. So just like it's a good hire for the Jets and like their situation. So good for Aaron Glenn. He was the defensive coordinator, so finally gets his shot. But again, it's the Jets, and you really don't know what they're gonna do next. Too
Yeah.
many
So now, I
questions.
mean, we have to
I
see,
don't know
do
the
they
answer.
bring back Aaron Rodgers? Do they
Yeah.
move on? How do they
Do they
draft?
trade
I think
away
that'll,
Devonte Adams again? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of questions. Like Garrett Wilson, a lot of questions there. If he even wants to come back, he might be on the trade market, so it might be a full just rebuild. And they did sign him for 5 years, I believe. So hopefully, he does get a chance to stay the full five. Not like plenty of other coaches who just get fired after 2 years or a
yeah,
year, some cases. And then the last hiring, well, not hire yet, but potential hiring for the Jaguars. Another tough position to go into, but you do have a QB, Liam Cohen. So he is the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who had a great year with Baker Mayfield, and unfortunately lost to the Commanders in the first round. But promising year, and it looked like he was uh, going to come back, but he did meet with the Jaguars, and then he refused the head coaching job. He didn't want to take the head coaching job. So then he went back and he's like, okay, I'm going to resign as offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers. And then the Jaguars fired their GM and called back Liam Cohen. And he goes, and it's looking like he's going to be the head coach now for the Jaguars. Going to be announced probably tomorrow, honestly.
yeah, it's kind of interesting. You kind of saw this with the Raiders as well. They fired the head coach and then they fired the GM like a couple days after. So I mean, if the I don't know why the Jaguars decided to wait to fire their GM. That was another thing like with Ben Johnson, he had an offer or not an offer, but Tom Brady was trying to get him to go to the Raiders, but then it's like, do you find a GM first? Do you get the head coach first and then the GM? Like, it's stuff like works or it doesn't work out like that, and it's you just gotta click with the GM. It's you're literally your best friend in all this because I guess he's got to approve everything the head coach wants to do, right?
Yeah, and it looks like, I mean, that was the main reason why he didn't want to go there was for the GM, and
Hmm.
a lot of other candidates didn't want to go because of him. So I think his name was Balk or something like that. His last name was Balk,
Yeah.
and they fired him, and now they have a chance to get their guy, Liam Cohen. So we'll see
Yeah.
how an offensive minded head coach does for Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas.
Hmm.
Next, we'll go to some baseball. So they just had the Hall of Fame voting, the writers vote every year for the who gets elected to the Hall of Fame. And the big news was Ichiro Suzuki. Everyone thought, unanimous. He's going to get. Everyone wants him in. He did get in because you need. I think you need 80% of the votes
Hmm.
for the writers to get in. So even if you don't, not everyone votes for you to get in. As long as you hit 80%, you're good. And I think the minimum is 11%. So on your first try, if you don't get, or maybe it's not, it's a little lower. But if you don't hit a certain percentage point for your first time on the ballot, you get knocked off the ballot also. But with Ichiro, everyone's like unanimous. He's going to get in no matter what. And
Hmm.
he was almost unanimous. He missed it by one vote. Everyone furious. I mean, I think that guy should not be able to vote anymore. Ichiro,
Damn.
he he came into the league 26 or 27 years old. He won Rookie of the Year and MVP the same season. He finished with over 3,000 hits, coming in at 27. It's insane. And for his career, including Japan, he has over 4,000 hits.
Yeah.
So he has the most hits in baseball history, just counting baseball, not necessarily MLB. But just for how late he came to the MLB and his ability to play at such a high level. I think his first 10 years, he had 250 hits every year. Like,
Hmm.
come on, how do you not vote? No off field scandals, no questions in his game. Like Derek Jeter was one vote or two votes short, one vote short of getting unanimous, but a lot of people question his defense. And if he should be a unanimous person to get in, so it's like there is some sort of point you can make, but Ichiro, man, insane that he didn't get a unanimous decision.
Well, the big stink is that should the votes be public or private? And I'm guessing you
Right.
want the votes to be public with whatever you just said, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna make a decision like this, right? Like, I don't know what he has against Ichiro. I don't know if it's, who knows what it is. But if there's anyone who deserves it, it is, I think, Ichiro. And if there's
Yeah,
any international player who deserves it, it's definitely Ichiro.
yeah.
Um,
I guess the 2 points that I heard was the one first point was he wasn't unanimous for the Japan Baseball Hall of Fame. That's one thing. He only got 83% of the votes, which is crazy. Okay, he's like a Japanese legend, right? And
yeah,
then the second point is that people think that the voter, the writer, knew that Ichiro was gonna get in anyways, right? So he just voted for someone else to like boost their
that's
votes. Yeah, I know it's
that's such a
stupid.
dumb thing though. Because
I
what if
know, yeah,
everyone did that?
yeah,
That's the same thing with just voting in general. Like people say, "Oh, your vote matters," right? So it's like, why not just vote for who deserves it?
yeah. So those are the two things that I heard. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting, but yeah. I mean, he still got in, so
Yeah.
first ballot. So, uh,
And like you said, Japanese Hall of Fame, but I understand that because he didn't play there that long, right?
yeah, I think
So
they, yeah, I
that
think
makes more
they were
sense.
probably pissed that he left.
Exactly. He's kind of like a trailblazer leaving,
Hmm.
and now you see like um, Otani, you see Sasaki, you see all these other guys coming over now, and who are inspired by Ichiro. Um, that does leave Mariano Rivera as the only player to be voted in unanimously. So it could have been two, but we're not going to talk about Rivera too much because he's in his own scandal right now. Um, if you want to look it up, go ahead and look it up. Um, but yeah, he had 9 years in Japan, like you're saying, and he hit 350 in those 9 years for almost 1,300 hits. So
Crazy.
insane, also. And he played 19 seasons in the MLB. But we can look a little bit at next year's ballot. I think it's pretty weak. So if the people who came in who didn't get in this year,
Yeah.
like Alex Rodriguez for steroids, most likely, Bobby Abreu, players like that. Even though I don't think Bobby Abreu should get in. Um, Probably the one who headlines it is Ryan Braun. So that's why it's kind of a weak class. I think he's probably the best player going in on that one. I mean, Matt Kemp, but I don't think so. Too many injuries. Cole
Yikes.
Hamels. Cole Hamels will definitely get in. He's actually probably the best name on there, not Ryan Braun. Um, like Rick Porcello, Hunter Pence is borderline, but great career. Alex Gordon, like there's not many good names there. Let's just
Yeah.
say that. So
Who
whoever missed it, it's past one.
yeah, whoever missed it this year, right? Probably has a great chance again in next year, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I think you have
Is
10
it
years on your ballot.
Beltron? I think a lot of people saying
Yeah,
Beltron will get it next year for sure.
Carlos Beltran should probably get in. Uh, I should have taken a screenshot of
But then
the
that's another
ballot,
thing
but
that people were saying on because of these writers is that they know the class next year is not as strong, so they're not going to vote for some people because they know they're going to get in for sure next year. So that's another gripe,
which I mean, I
which
guess you
that
can make it
totally
make an
understands.
argument because if you do spread out your votes too much, then you're only going to get a certain amount of people in, right? Because
Yeah.
you need 80%.
Hmm.
Because like this year it was only Ichiro, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner, who Billy Wagner was on his last year, so he was going to get in most likely. But CC and Ichiro both got in first ballot. Carlos Beltran just missed, and Andrew Jones is on his 8th year. He just missed. So he'll have two more tries. So next year, Andrew Jones will probably get in.
Yeah.
Chase Utley had more votes than A-Rod, so Chase Utley will probably get in next year. Uh, Maybe we'll see Felix Hernandez hop A-Rod and Manny Ramirez because I know there's a lot of hate about them too with the steroids. There's players like that
Just
who
crazy.
we might see get in. Torrey Hunter on
Wow.
his fifth year, I don't think he's going to get in. He only got 5% of the vote, so um, we'll see next year what happens. But
Crazy.
a lot of anger out there because Ichiro wasn't unanimous, and I think it's mainly because there was only one vote that
Yeah.
didn't vote. And if there was multiple, then okay, whatever. But I think
One guy,
everyone
one person.
everyone believes that he should have been unanimous. Okay, and last but not least, we got an interesting trade that happened yesterday or 2 days ago. The Suns traded their 2031 first round pick for three Utah Jazz first round picks. Um, so the why it's so important, the 2031 pick is so important. It's the only pick the Suns have full control of. They traded all their other picks for Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, any other all those
Yeah.
random trades that they do. Um, and now the Jazz have full control of that unprotected 2031. And the Suns get the least favorable firsts in 2025 between Cleveland and Minnesota. So whoever has the best record from them, they get that pick. So the latest pick in the first, 2027 and 2029 between Minnesota and Utah, which the Jazz probably made this trade because they have too many firsts. They have they got from the Rudy Gobert and
Yeah.
the Mitchell trade. So they can't really afford to have these all three first round picks for the next 3 years come in. And now they get this coveted 2031 pick
Yeah.
that they can use in a trade if they want to, in the future, bolster up their team or potentially land a top pick.
Yeah. Crazy. 2031. That's 6 years from now. It's crazy. Someone was saying there's a 10-year-old that's actually really tearing it up. And by the time he gets to the draft, it could be this kid who's 10 years old. So, uh, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get Noah to trade me his 2031 pick, and I'll give him some picks as well. So,
Yeah, just send me Giannis. I'll send you 2031.
yeah, Giannis gonna be retired by then.
That's fine. I'm here to I'm trying to win now, but it's looking like they might not even keep the picks. The Suns are going to use it, to trade
For Jimmy
for
Butler.
Jimmy Butler, who has said
Horrible.
recently that he wants to go anywhere but Memphis to end his career.
It's funny.
I don't know the hate for Memphis. I mean, there's probably something there, but I don't know what it is. Um,
They'd
yeah,
probably just tell him on a random team. He's like, yeah, Memphis sucks. Don't
you
want
have
to
to
go
name
there.
one team you don't want to go to.
Memphis.
Memphis. Yeah. Maybe he doesn't like Marcus Smart or something. Like,
Maybe
I don't know.
that's
Maybe
our
there's
next
one guy
game
on
that
that
they
team.
play.
Yeah, Um, but interesting trade. We'll
Yeah.
see if it even works out. And if they don't get a player, then they have three first round picks now. Most likely going to be late firsts for those gap years. So,
Nice.
but yeah, Suns have no control over any of their picks until 2032 now, I think, because all of them are swaps, and then they gave this one up. Um,
We'll try it
the
again
ones they
next
have
year,
control
huh?
of are swaps. Yeah, we'll see what happens. They're kind of, I think, in a Golden State area where they just need to trade their big names.
Yeah.
Start over.
If you follow along with sports, you know the whole Jimmy Butler saga. I feel like there's too much going on there. It's a whole mess between Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley. Once he gets traded, I'm sure we'll go into the details and tell everyone what the timeline of this trade was. It's crazy. There's rumors of it being now a 5-team trade for Jimmy Butler. So
Yeah, because the new rule, you have to match salaries with everything. So it's kind of
it's
hard to make
so
these
hard.
huge trades.
Yeah. And Jimmy
But
Butler's
yeah,
getting 40 million, I think, next year or 50 million. something
It's
crazy.
up there. Yeah. And he's suspended again for 2 more games, I think. So,
Yeah, because he doesn't go on the team plane. So, um, like I said, we had the college football championship last Monday. Um, Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Unfortunately, it didn't get the viewership that I think everyone was thinking it was going to be because of the two powerhouses in the school with these schools. It was the Ohio State jumped out to the early lead. They were up big, 31-7, and then Notre Dame was able to come back a few, but ended up losing in the end. Just a couple questions I want to discuss with Noah. Do you think Ryan Day keeps his job now after winning the college football championship, or does he get fired still? If he loses to Michigan next year, does he get fired then? Like, people are still mad that they lost to Michigan, even though they
yeah.
just won the championship, which is so crazy. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think winning the national championship forgives all.
Okay.
If you, but if you do lose, if he does lose next year to Michigan, he has to win again. If he doesn't win the championship, he's out. That'd be what, 4 years in a row he's lost to Michigan. He's never beat Michigan.
Yeah.
Um,
It'll be
so
five in a row next year. So,
5 in a row. Yeah. So there
so
you go.
it's
I think, but I think it's mainly a fan thing. Fans
yeah.
care about rivalries more than anything. I'm sure the team and the school care more about the championship, and then rivalry second. But yeah, it is rough that you lose to your rival
Four
four
straight
times in a
years.
row
Yeah.
every time you face them. So it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of Mike Tomlin situation, I guess.
Yeah, it really
He's
is.
successful, but everyone's like, get rid of him.
Yeah, he hasn't won a playoff game in forever. Yeah, Ryan Day, of course, we're not Ohio State fans. It's 50-50. People are still mad that he lost to Michigan, but all is forgiven. Um, Another question, Jeremiah Smith. He's a freshman. Crazy. That guy's a freshman. He's making 3.7 million NIL this year. Does he try to negotiate his NIL? I don't even know if that's a thing that you could do. But what do you think he's worth? And do you think if Michigan pays him like 8 million, does he go to Michigan or another, other school? Like, does he just leave if he gets offered more money?
I don't know. It's because it's weird, right? Like you choose the school for a reason, unless he chose it for money. I don't know if he chose it for money, but
Yeah.
he could have chosen that school for a reason. I think you do ask to be paid the highest wide receiver in college,
He
because
already is.
he's. Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, as a freshman.
Yeah. So two people ahead of him is Arch Manning and someone else, but they were both QBs. And then yeah, so he is the highest paid.
Yeah, I don't know where you go from there then, because you can't really. I guess you can. Your argument would be Arch Manning hasn't even played it down, like or like he has, but like he hasn't like he's not a he's not the main guy on the team. I guess he wasn't the
Yeah.
main starter, and he's getting paid however much money it is, $20 million, whatever it is, the crazy amount. Um,
It's weird, huh?
if you're
It's
gonna
so
be there for 2 years, I guess you might as well just take advantage, right?
yeah.
Uh,
Get as much
the only
money as
thing is,
you
if
can.
you get offered a bunch from Michigan, Michigan's QBs are awful. They normally run a lot, but they did get those high. I think the number one QB went there. I think I
Yeah,
don't remember. We talked about it before.
the QB just got 12 million.
Yeah. So do they even have money to pay you to go there? Like it's just wherever you go, you're probably not going to have as good a QB as like an Ohio State transfer in, or um,
Yeah.
I mean, like Oregon would probably pay a lot. They got Nike, so I mean, Oregon has like unlimited money, so
Yeah.
it has to be a school like that who like has just
go
this
out the way.
unlimited amount of money to spend.
Yeah, I mean Ohio State paid 20 million this year for their roster. So, that I'm sure they're going to pay another 20 million next year. So, yeah, it's just going to be just interesting. I doubt he leaves, but just
No,
something
I don't
to
think so either.
yeah, I mean, you might as well try to win the championship the next 2 years, right? Go back to back to
I
back.
think the whole thing is championship. If they didn't win the championship, then maybe he looks somewhere else because
Yeah.
then you lose Will Howard anyways. It's just I don't know. Maybe you go to Miami with whatever his name is,
Yeah.
Georgia QB.
Carson Beck.
Yeah, Carson Beck. You team up with Carson Beck, but other than that, I think he's sitting pretty no matter what.
I think so
Just
too.
give me a little raise. Just give me a little 5 mil instead of 3.7.
And then my final question for us to answer, does Michigan or Notre Dame feel the worst about Ohio State winning? Because Michigan did win against Ohio State, like we said. They did beat them in the middle of the season. And then, of course, Notre Dame lost. They came in second. Had a great season. They lost to Northern Illinois week 4. And then they came back and, made it to the championship. So,
I'm Michigan. I'm feeling great. We just beat the national
number one.
champions, and we were five. We had 5 wins in the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, Notre Dame obviously I think should feel worse.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, they were there. They had the
Yeah.
chance, and
They
they
were
kind of
just
made a little comeback
overpowered,
at the
It
end.
wasn't
Yeah,
uh
yeah, it's rough.
Ohio State was I think 8.5 point favorites, so or 9.5. That last field goal really pushed them over. So yeah. So that's enough about that. No more college football until
Till next,
August.
yeah,
Crazy.
few months.
Um and then we have the NFL conference games. We got the Bills versus the Chiefs, Commanders versus the Eagles. Who we got? Noah, or who do
So
you have? Could be different than who I.
who are we going with first? Which game first?
Let's go Bills Chiefs.
Bills, Chiefs. I have to go with the Bills. I just think the Bills are a more complete team. The Chiefs' offense is playing a lot better than the Chiefs' offense.
Yeah,
Matt Milano makes a huge difference playing on defense.
crazy.
He did miss a good chunk of the year this year, and then I think he missed the end of the year last year.
Yeah,
So, um, yeah, I think Bills should win this game, and they will win this game. No more flops from Patrick Mahomes.
that's
Everyone's tired of
horrible.
this guy. Everyone's tired of this guy. Get him out of the
Yeah,
league.
the fatigue, Chiefs fatigue. That's all I hear. Chiefs fatigue is real.
But Chiefs
Don't want
defense
the
has looked
Chiefs.
amazing. That's the only thing.
Yeah, this is the year that the Bills finally get their chance. Please, please, Josh Allen, just don't turn the ball over. Just play like how he's been playing, making good choices, running when he needs to. They've been running James Cook. Everything's looking good. Defense has been holding up. But this is their, one chance, probably their best chance in previous years to get by the Chiefs. So,
Yeah, and then like we said last week, I think you agreed. Whoever won that Ravens Bills game was going to win, or was going to make it to the Super Bowl out of this, out of the AFC.
yeah.
So they should. Like, I think it should be obvious they're going to win.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Mahomes magic, man, it happens. We'll see if
He
he
just,
has anything left.
yeah. And then finally, Commanders versus the Eagles. Oh, man. Jaden Daniels is, even CJ Stroud said it. He's the best rookie QB ever. Um, CJ Stroud had a great year. They did make it to the playoffs as well, but Jaden Daniels, they're playing as underdogs every single game, and he didn't turn the ball over either. Calm under the pressure, made the plays when he needed to, and the Lions gave it up 5 times, I think, so that doesn't help. But I also want the Commanders. I want Bills Commanders Super Bowl, best Super Bowl that we could ask for.
Yeah, the Commanders, Cinderella run here. I just don't see it. I would rather them make it than the Eagles, but winning 3 times on the road in the playoffs. The Eagles defense has looked good. But I do think the Commanders have a chance because Jalen Hurts hurt his knee last game. So depending on how he's feeling there, you lose a big amount of his game just running. And he has not looked that great throwing the ball. I mean, he hasn't thrown over 200 yards in like 8 weeks, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the
um,
offense isn't as clicking, but
Saquon carrying that.
Saquon Barkley is so
Saquon
good.
is insane.
Yeah.
It's going to be Saquon versus the Commanders, and I think Saquon Saquon might be able to do it.
Yeah,
But I think Eagles will win, but I want the Commanders to win.
of course. Don't we all? And then finally, last question before we get to our underdog picks for this weekend. Who has to feel the worst about the last loss? The Lions or the Ravens?
It has to be the Lions, man. You guys lost to the rookie QB at home.
Yeah.
Uh, their defense was hurt. They were down like 2 defensive tackles and Aiden Hutchinson. They lost their second best corner in the first play of the game, I think, or at least first defensive play
Yeah.
of the game for them. Um, but yeah, the Ravens game was going to be a hard one. Like everyone knew, no one was expecting the Ravens to win. Everybody was expecting the Lions to win.
Yeah. First playoff game that they hosted in quite a while. And or ever, I think. But man, the Ravens too. You had Lamar Jackson MVP season. He may win it. They went to Derrick Henry not as much as they should. I don't know why they abandoned the run. And Derrick Henry only averaged like 5 yards per carry. I don't know. Just bad losses both teams. But yeah, I would say Lions have to be the most disappointed about it.
I mean, they were the number one seed.
They were 15-2, and yeah, their offense, Jared Goff turning the ball over. It's not. He was in the MVP talks middle of the
Yeah,
season. He was just on
I
a
think
chair, and then he threw
this does
five.
kind of show Goff's limits of how far he can really go. Once
Yeah,
you start getting to those better defenses, one game, it's up to one game. I don't know if Goff is going to be able to be that guy,
yeah,
but he's there for a few more years still. He's just signing an extension. So
yeah. So we'll see where those teams go next year. Lions, of course, need to hire two coordinators. So interesting how that works out, and see how Ben Johnson does in that division. He knows the teams very well, so hopefully he cooks up something.
best division in football.
Best division, yep. But yeah, those are our headlines from this week and for this weekend coming up. And let's get to our underdog picks here.
Yeah. So this week for our underdog picks, I will be picking the Washington Philadelphia game. Patrick will be picking the Buffalo Kansas City game, and we'll start off with the one and only Saquon Barkley. How do you not pick this guy right now? He is insane. I'm going over on 139 and a half rushing and receiving yards. He ran for over 150 yards the last time they played, and I think he's averaging 137 yards when he faces the Commanders this year. So insane. Next, Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to be throwing the ball a lot. So I'm going to go higher than 31 and a half pass attempts, especially if they're down early. I think you're going to see them throw the ball, and he's been throwing it pretty well too. So um, just let it fly. And then last but not least, one of the guys he's going to be throwing to, uh, Diami Brown. He's been hot the last couple weeks. I'm going higher than 39 and a half receiving yards. And the last time they played, he had 56 receiving yards. And the last 2 games, he's been over 80 receiving yards. So Gotta stay hot.
Still the number two option there in the
Yeah.
Commanders, surprisingly. Okay, on to the Bills Chiefs game. First I'm gonna go with Travis Kelsey getting a touchdown again because I predicted it last week as well. He had a slow regular season, not really getting the ball that much, but of course when the Chiefs need someone to get open, he's always there. Comfort what is it? Comfort blanket? No.
Yeah.
Whatever. For Patrick
Safety blanket.
Mahomes. Yeah, safety blanket. Jeez.
Close
Uh
enough.
yeah, close enough. My next pick is Khalil Shakir for the Bills, getting higher, 4.5 receptions. He looked like he was getting targeted maybe close to double digits the last game. Looks like he's the go-to guy for Josh Allen, so shouldn't be
Safety
no
blanket,
problem.
you could say.
Yes, yes. If you see a theme here, let me know. And then our last pick, a little safety blanket pick again. I'm going with Josh Allen rushing touchdown because, dude, this guy's crazy. He's gonna make a Superman type play here, reaching over that goal line for a rushing or a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, can't count out that receiving touchdown after he had one this year on
Yeah.
the little pass back from um, Cooper.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, I've been done recording it since I said that. So
You
just letting
stopped
you know.
recording?
Yeah, I had stopped recording since I
Oh.
said the Josh Allen thing.
Oh.
It looked like you were waiting for me to like say like something to end it or something like
Well,
that.
yeah, I thought you were gonna say, and those are our
No,
picks.
I let you end it. I
Like
let you
usually it's something to just end it, and then I never
You
got
said
that
something,
ending.
and I was like, okay, yeah, that's a good spot.
Okay.
Or he's gonna make a Superman play, and then I
So-
stopped doing it. So
Nice.
yeah,
Thanks for getting in there. But
yeah, good director.
of course, that is it for this episode. We will be playing Weddle if we can solve it in a minute 30. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed this episode. We look forward to seeing everyone in the next one. And yeah, couple more games, and then we know the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, fun times.
yeah, I'm sure we're gonna have our prop bets as last time that we did this. So I'm looking forward to those. And now Weddle, a minute 30 until this ends. So
Diami Brown.
Diami Brown, wide
What you
receiver,
think?
younger than 25, maybe a rookie in the AFC.
Keon Coleman. No, no, never mind. His number is 0. Uh,
Uh,
Brian Thomas.
it's a good one. Oh, AFC.
22.
Damn.
Uh,
23, 24. Short guy.
what
6'3" maybe.
about Adonai Mitchell? I don't know what number he is for the
He
Colts.
could be one, but I'll throw him in there.
10.
10. Well, he's the
Oh,
numbers
he was
high.
also AFC South. Oh my
Oh,
god.
jeez. I don't know why I can't think of anyone. This is literally your model. Oh,
Zay
uh,
Flowers. How old's Zay Flowers?
he's like
What number is Zay Flowers?
number two.
Oh, 10 seconds.
I don't know. I don't know.
Burton from the Bengals.